I take the ground beef and pork, green onions, mushroom, onions, and eggs out of the refrigerator and head to the kitchen. All I need is panko, sake, and cooking oil. Saber mumbles quietly to herself in the living room while I work. I can't quite hear what she is saying from the kitchen. Smack, smack, pound, pound. I mix onions, panko, sake, egg, flour, salt and flour, and flour, 100, bleh. I mix onions, panko, egg, salt, and salt with flour, with 400 grams of ground beef and pork, and knead it all together. I've decided to be bold today, so I'm making stewed Japanese-style hamburg steak for breakfast. Saber's voice drifts out from the living room. Tosaka? I glance back over my shoulder as I cook. I feel like I was almost crushed in a giant hand. Oh, wait. Tosaka comes in, looking grumpy, and grabs a carton of milk from the fridge. Where'd that grumpy face she had been making a second ago go? Her eyes are practically sparkling now. Food! Is that so? Well, she's the one who gets to enjoy herself here, not me. Reminds me of what my old man used to say. Someone gains, someone else loses. I thought this before, but you've got a keen eye. She waves as she heads back to the living room. With a glass of milk in one hand, Tosaka plops down at the table. Seriously. I don't know where she gets off acting like king of the castle in my house. Yeah, way to go, Saber. She's saying everything I wish I could. However, Tosaka dismisses Saber's criticism nonchalantly by just agreeing with her. Who said that?
今までは魔力不足で嘆いてたけど、それも解決したし、今のセイバーに対抗できるサーバントなんて一人もいないわ。
Saber narrows her eyes at Tosaka. I have the same reaction. We shouldn't let what Tosaka said there just go by. Tosaka, do you know who Saber is?
うすうすね。確信が持てたのは昨日よ。あれだけの聖剣を扱える英雄なんて一人しかいないもの。まあ、伝説のアーサー王が女の子っていうのには驚いたけど、目の前にいるんじゃ信じるしかないじゃない。それに、伝説なんて都合よく改ざんされたものでしょ?
Not wrong. I think there's at least 3 different versions of like Atalanta's story alone.
セイバーが隠したのか、周囲が隠したのか知らないけど、 確かに中世の王様が女の子ってのは都合が悪いものね。そりゃ誰が何と言おうと男として扱うわよ。
Tosaka's tone remains the same. Saber at least doesn't seem to mind. If anything, she seems to agree with Tosaka. She certainly doesn't seem about to argue. She's basically acknowledged the fact. A hero with a connection to the sword is selected to be the Saber Serpent. Based on that alone, she would absolutely make for the best saber. The heroic symbol of Britain. The wielder of the sacred sword, so famous she's even known in this faraway land. But then, what of it? The legend of King Arthur ends with the king's death. Even heroes are still human. Their stories usually end in death, but no hero dies as a proper death. King Arthur was no exception. If I remember correctly, King Arthur died in battle. At the Great Battle of Cumberland. After unifying Britain and supposedly having no more foreign enemies to defeat, King Arthur was drawn into conflict with an unexpected enemy in the end. It was the treachery of her own army, the knights she vowed to protect and fought alongside for so long, that led to King Arthur's death. King Arthur defeated the army's leader, but took a fatal wound in the battle, and so entrusted her only surviving knight, Bedivere, with the task of returning the sacred sword to where it belonged. Travel across the bloody battlefield and over the hill. You will find a deep lake. Throw this sword into that lake. But Bedivere did not fulfill that final duty. Fearing the implications of losing the sword, Bedivere falsely reported not once, but twice, that he had thrown it into the lake. Each time, King Arthur once more ordered Bedivere to throw the sword away. Finally, on his third attempt, Bedivere was able to fulfill the king's wishes. It is said that King Arthur died after making certain that the sword had been returned.
それよりシロ、あんたこれからどうする気よ?
Tosaka suddenly turns to glare at me. Eh? What do you mean plan to do?
だから和室で寝てる物騒な子供のことよ。放っておけって言ったのに、ここまで連れてきたのはあんたじゃない。
それについては私も言いたい。バーサーカーを失ったとはいえ、イリアスフィールは危険なマスターだ。それを保護するなど、シロはどうかしています。
そうそう。あんなのは綺麗に預けちまえばいいのよ。
The two glare at me as one. That's right. The moment Berserker disappeared, Ilya fainted. She showed no sign of waking up, and I couldn't just leave her, so I brought her back home. Of course, Tosaka and Saber objected, so I carried her myself. A master who loses their servant either flees before another master kills them, or is protected by the church. Tosaka said we should let Kotomine take care of her, but I don't think that priest would take very good care of Ilya, so I'm having her stay in one of our spare rooms.
シロ、あなたの考えは立派ですが、イリアスフィールに関わるのは危険です。今ならまだ間に合う。早々に教会に預けるか、その令状を剥奪するべきだ。
Saber's serious. Changing her mind won't be easy. Do you have a problem? We couldn't just leave her alone. Ilya's just a kid. She wasn't herself. I feel bad leaving her with Kotomine.
かわいそう。あんたね、あの子にあんな目に遭わされて、まだそんな寝ぼけたこと言うわけ?
I mean, she did try to kill us.
同感です。シロはイリアスフィールに感情移入しすぎています。彼女は何度もシロを殺そうとしたではないですか。
The two are more united than ever. But I need to stand my ground. Ilya was our enemy, but she never had any malice for us. As long as she has a good influence, she won't do any more harm. And I said this at the start. I'm not fighting to kill masters. I'm fighting to end the battle.
それは分かってはいますが。
Saber's tone softens, though she's clearly not convinced. But
そう。それじゃあイリアスフィールのしたことを全部許すっていうの？言っとくけど、あの子は私たち以外のマスターも襲っている。もしかしたらもう何人かマスターを殺しているかもしれない。それでもあなたは助けてやるっていうのね。
well, yeah. Ilya admitted she killed Shinji after I let him go. Shinji used Ryder to try and kill everyone at school. If that's what she did as a master, I suppose his death was inevitable. But Shinji was a friend of mine for years, and thinking of Sakura, I can't just write off what Ilya did. But that means there's no chance at closure. Even if Ilya is no longer a master, as long as she can reflect can feel remorse, I think we should save her.
そうね。それは正しい。けどシロ、私はアーチャーのことを帳消しにする気はないの。私のアーチャーはあいつに殺されたんだから。
We're at an impasse here. We all freeze, staring at each other. But then...
何よ。サーバントなんて最後にはみんな消えちゃうじゃない。そんなこと気にしてるなんて、マスター失格ね、リン。
The very girl under discussion appears.
イリアスフィール。
待ちなさい。あなたたちに用はないわ。戦う気もないから、そんなに生きり立たないでくれない？ほんと、同じレディーとして恥ずかしいわ。私よりずっと年上なのに、たしなみってものがないんだから。
Ilya shrugged, looking disgusted.
なんですって？
Saber and Tosaka are once again in sync. A whole new kind of intensity comes over them.
まあ、それも怒らないであげる。今はあなたたちに構ってる場合じゃないもの。
Ilya turns from them to face me. Eh? Ilya,
礼を言います。セイバーのマスター。敵であった我が身まで気遣うその心遣い。心より感謝いたしますわ。
Huh? I stare at Ilya in disbelief. So sudden is this that even Saber goes quiet. Tosaka just keeps drinking her milk, giving Ilya the stink eye. And then, Ilya smiles that familiar smile of hers.
なんてね。やっぱりシロはお兄ちゃんだ。
She launches herself right at me and hugs me around the neck. She is adorable when she's not in murder child mode. Her... Tosaka spits out her milk. What the? I can almost hear the vein popping in Saber's forehead. He still has that stoic expression.
離れなさい、この無礼者。
She's like, I will not get mad, I will not get mad, I will not get mad, I will not get mad. Oh, fuck it. Saber rushes towards me. Ilya twists around and swings to my back.
無礼者はどっちよ。サーバントのくせに私に意見しようなんて100年早いわ。
あなたに従う義務がなければ意思もありません。 枝づ口を言う暇があるなら今すぐ城から離れなさい。
そんなの聞かないよーだ。ねえシロ、昨日みたいにしよう。あれ本部って言うんだよね。
Ilya spins around me. Saber hurries after her, trying to catch her. This is bad. What especially as bad is what especially is bad? Well, it's just bad. The two can't stop glaring at each other. It must be because Tosaka is just watching from afar, but she just wipes the milk off her mouth as if nothing is happening and says,
どうでもいいんだけどね、二人とも。そのままだとそいつ死ぬわよ。
The two peer curiously at me. It's pretty clear. My neck's getting wrenched around, and I now face the greatest danger of my life. Okay, let's review the current situation before I die again. The hamburg steak I've been working on so hard is packed away in the freezer. First, there's Tosaka. She's being relatively quiet. She seems to be keeping a straight face and looks like she's just going to watch things play out. But who can say what she might be thinking to herself?
何シロ。
Ilya's sitting next to me, and for some reason she looks like she's in a good mood. She looks curiously around the living room and doesn't look like... But it doesn't look like Saber or Tosaka are much concerned to her. Whatever either of them might say is likely to go in one ear and out the other. And then there's the one I'm most concerned about. Saber. She's glaring anxiously at both me and Ilya. She's not usually so fidgety and restless. It seems like I'm having. It seems like I'm resting on a bed of nails, so I can't leave things like that. So I can't leave things like this. I don't know what's going to come of this, but I have to do something about the situation. Let's settle this. If we keep this up, it'll drag out until lunch.
そうね。結論は決まっているし、問題は早めに片付けた方がいいわ。そうでしょ、セイバー。
そうですね。私とリンの意見は同じですから、あとはシローに納得してもらうだけですが。
Saber is really digging her heels in.
ねえシロ、リンとセイバーは何を話したがってるの？
Oh, they want to talk about what we should do with you. You lost your servant, so we want to know what you plan to do from now on.
そんなの決まってるでしょ。教会に保護させるか、森の城に追い返すのよ。どちらにしたってここにいさせる選択肢はないからね。シロもそう思ってるの？
Ilya looks at me, her face emotionless. Okay, checking. We're going to protect Ilya. Kurtsuga always told me to protect girls, and I don't like seeing kids suffer. Well, I think Ilya should stay here. The Holy Grail War isn't over. I want to shelter Ilya until the last of the masters are taken care of.
シローがそう言うんなら、私もここにいてあげるね。
Hey, Ilya, you're choking me! I can't breathe! I intend to pry Ilya from me, but before I get the chance, Saber steps over and does it for me.
何よ、さっきから邪魔ばっかりして。あなた、私に恨みでもあるの？
当然でしょう。その身がシローに何をしたか、私は忘れることなどない。シローもシローです。イリアスフィールをかくまうなど、百害あって一理なしとわからないのですか。
What about it? Ilya doesn't have a servant anymore, and she's not dangerous. She's no longer a master. Besides, how would you feel if she got attacked after we abandoned her? Ilya's life would be in danger, and other masters might gain power from her.
それはそうですが、しかし。
Saber hesitates. No matter what she says, Saber understands that another master might attack Ilya if we leave her alone.
じゃあ次はこっちの番ね。セーバーを陥落したところ悪いけど、私はまだ説得されてないわ。いいシロー。そいつはまだマスターなのよ。サーバントを失っても、霊樹がある限り、マスターはマスターだって教えたでしょ？
She says that. Tosaka just butts in while she sips her tea. Eh? Hey, what is that supposed to mean, Tosaka?
だから、霊樹さえ残っていれば、サーバントとは何人でも契約できるのよ。主のいないはぐれサーバントがいて、かつマスターにそのはぐれサーバントを許容できるキャパシティさえあれば、何人とだって契約はできるわ。
What the heck? So if there's a compatible master around, and they can form contracts with as many servants as they want?
何人でもってわけじゃないわ。聖杯の力で呼び出せる英霊は7人が限度だから、最大でも7人ね。もっともどんなに優れた魔術師だって、複数のサーバントを具現化させる魔力なんてないわ。あるとしても、その場合は10の魔力を5に分けて2人のサーバントを刺激することになる。そうなるとサーバントの能力は下がるから、複数のサーバントと契約する旨味はないけどね。
I see. So if I formed a contract with Saber and Berserker, they would have to split my magical energy between them to maintain their existence, which would drastically weaken both of them. That means it would make more sense to keep one servant and supply them with magical energy. Now that you mention it, didn't you say servants could change masters? Is this what you meant?
あら、珍しく勘がいいじゃない。シローの言う通り、サーバントがマスターを変えるっていうのはそういうことよ。マスターを失ったサーバントは消えるまでいくらか猶予がある。で、その間に他にサーバントを欲しがっているマスターを探して契約すれば元通りってわけ。ええ、だからリンに気を許しちゃダメよ、シロー。そいつだってまだマスターなんだから。シローを殺してセイバーを奪うかもしれないし、まだ生きてるサーバントと再契約するかもしれないわ。
She is really turning that around, goddamn!
そう。それはあんたにそっくりお返しするわ、イリア。そんなことないもん。私、他のサーバントとなんて組まない。イリアのサーバントはずっとバーサーカーだけなんだから。
She's very adamant about that. I don't know what kind of relationship Ilya and Berserker had, but I do know that that servant was special to her. That is a surprise, but at the same time, it makes me happy. I'm happy to know that despite the fact that as master, Ilya was relentless, she still cherished her partner.
あ、でもシローが負けちゃったらセイバーは私がもらうわ。私はシロー以外のマスターが勝つのは認めない。でももしシローが負けちゃったら私が代わりに勝ってあげるんだから。
And Saber's like, what? Ilya says that proudly, just as she was starting to impress Saber and Tosaka.
バカなことを言わないでほしい。私はシローのサーバントです。あなたのサーバントになるつもりはありません。
へえ、別にそれでも構わないわ。私はシローに勝ってもらえればそれでいい。私が勝つのもセイバーがシローを守ってくれるのもどうせ最後は同じだもの。
Huh? What a weird thing to say. Actually, if she wants me to win, why would she think like that anyway? And then, Tosaka must have found it strange too. She starts to think.
私は構います。ともかく私は認めません。リン、あなたからもシローに忠告してください。
ごめんなさい。聞いてなかったわ。もう一度言って、セイバー。
ですから、イリアスフィールをここにかくまうのは反対だということです。
ああ、それ？いいんじゃない？別にかくまうぐらいなら。
I mean, she is kind of cute when she's not trying to kill people.
は？
Saber freezes. I had advocated for this, and even I'm surprised. I don't blame the opposing Saber for being frozen in shock.
リン、あなた、正気ですか？
ええ、冷静に考えてみればリスクはどっちも同じなのよ。イリアを一人にするのもここでかくまうのも教会に預けるのも変わらない。いえ、むしろイリア目当てでマスターが来てくれた方が助かるわ。今のセーバーなら他のサーバントが束になっても負けっこない。聖杯戦争を終わらせるならその方が手っ取り早いし、それはあなただって望むところでしょ、セイバー。
Shouldn't that be, it would be hard?
ま、あなたが他のサーバントに負けるって言うんなら話は変わるけど。
まさか今の私がどのような状態かリンなら分かっているでしょう。
They really should have proofread this translation.
私に敗北などありえません。
でしょ？ならイリアをかくまうのも問題ない。それに気になることもある。シローの選択はもしかしたらとんでもない妙手だったのかもしれないわ。
Tosaka goes quiet. She must have convinced Saber, who reluctantly takes a step back from Ilya. We finish breakfast and move on to the dojo. Tosaka goes back to her own room while Saber follows me. As for Ilya,
ねえ、本当に剣の鍛錬なんかするの？
she follows me to the dojo like we're joined at the hip.
私、今日はシローと遊べると思って楽しみにしてたんだよ。なのにセイバーなんて邪魔者はいるし、ここ寒いし、つまんないよ。
After this scene, we'll probably end stream. Well, I'm not surprised Delia thinks this is boring. Watching someone train isn't what I call exciting.
ねえ、今に戻ろう。強くなりたいなら、私がシローの力になってあげる。
Ilya takes one of my hands in both of hers and tries to tug me away from the dojo. But at least in this, I can't. But at least in this, I can't indulge Ilya. No, I can't, Ilya. I train every day, so I can't miss today. I'm not a proper mage, so I need to work hard to be ready to fight. Besides, if I train, I can protect you too, Ilya. I decided to shelter you here, so I should train to help. So I should train to help me do just that.
うん、それはそうかも。けど私、シロに守られなくてもいいんだけどな。シロはお兄ちゃんなんだから、一緒にいてくれるだけでいいんだもん。
Faces! It seems I failed to convince her. Ilya tugs more aggressively at my hand. Saber watches silently all the while. Her eyes burn into the pair of us. She must not approve of Ilya being here, and is being more than a little cold toward her. And then our eyes meet. Good timing. I'll ask for Saber's opinion. I said I can't. Tell her, Saber. Tell her I train with you every day.
私に言うべきことなどありません。イリアスフィールを連れてきたのはシローです。彼女に言い聞かせるのはシローの役割で、私の責務には含まれていませんから。
You handle it, fuckhead. I don't know why, but I get she's really ticked now.
なんだ、セイバーもよくわかってるじゃない。剣の鍛錬なんてしなくていいのよ。残ってるのは雑魚ばっかりなんだから、そんなの必要ないもの。ねえシロ、他のマスターなんてセイバーに任せて、私たちは外で遊ぼう。
Whoa, hey, slow down! I lose my balance and feel myself being tugged towards the dojo's exit. Hey, no, let go, Ilya. I'm not going to indulge you this time. I'm not skipping my sword training. I'm going to stick to it. Sure, you might think it's boring, but I enjoy it, and if you're going to complain, then go wait in the living room. I shake her off violently. She obviously didn't expect me to fling her away like that. Ilya backs off, surprised, then looks at me nervously. Crap. I should have been nicer about it. Sorry, Ilya, I was too rough with you, but I'm not going to give up my sword training. And I'm sorry to leave you alone, but please stay in the living room. Ilya sulks away towards the entrance, but stops by the wall. Hmm?
いいわ。ならここで見てる。それなら文句ないんでしょ。
Ilya suddenly roars in defiance. She glares our way, pitching a small tantrum. Well, I don't mind, but it's cold in the dojo, and there's tea and snacks in the living room for you.
私がいいって言ってるんだからいいの。んだ、シロとセイバーを二人っきりになんてさせないんだから。
Ilya huffs and turns her nose up. Oh well, you're more than welcome to go back to the living room if you get bored. At least things have settled down. I take Tushi and I leaning against the wall and turn to face Saber. Then let's begin. It's been 3 days, so I might be a little rusty. Hey, are you okay, Saber? You look a little dazed. Do you have a fever?
いえ、別にそういうことではないのですが。
Saber turns away from Ilya, furiously shaking her head. So, are you all right? Let's begin. Here's your shinai.
いえ、投げていただければ結構です。あまり不用意に近づかれては困ります。私たちは剣の鍛錬をするのですから。
That's what I've been saying. What else would we be doing, Saber? A little confused, I tossed the shinai to her. Besides, I never once landed a strike on Saber. I've never gotten close to being within striking range of her, so Saber telling me not to come close seems odd. Saber takes the shinai I taught her a bit awkwardly, then lets out an audible sigh.
それでは始めましょう。今までとは勝手が違いますが、平静を保つようにしろ。
Saber glances at Ilya as she speaks. I'll be fine. Once we have started, nothing will bother me. I grip my Shinai and focus on Saber. She stands in front of me, Shinai in hand. Now my attention is fixed only on her. That is where we're going to stop for today. All right, then. So yeah, Berserker is down. Despite us almost dying again. It's too bad we never get to see the fight in the original visual novel, but I get why. We'll see in another route. Okay, so let us get a raid going. Rue's playing Minecraft. Frosty playing Hero in Trials of Cold Steel. Victor's playing Final Fantasy 16. Let's raid Ashino. It's been a while. Oh, I can't raid her? Okay, let's raid Rue then. All right, so thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you like my stuff and you haven't already, please leave a follow. It helps me as a small VTuber. I upload all my stuff on YouTube, and you can also check my socials down there. So, tomorrow, we will begin our new training arc in Hollow Knight. So we can train and beat the rest of these soul bosses and get the other stuff. So thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all on the next one. This is Metis Balaska signing out.